Welcome to the EllieMD Team Shot Callers Compensation Plan Breakdown. My name is Alex Marical. I wanted to make this video so you can put a face to the name and give you an actual person you can look at. I really just want to make this more easily understandable for everybody, just to help you. If you need to come back to it, if you need to watch it once and you get it the first time, beautiful. Anytime, watch it 2, 3, 5, 10 times. We'll be here. All right? If you have any questions following this, feel free to reach out to me directly. I will be happy to answer. Otherwise, hopefully you can refer to this, whether you use it for your own personal reference, whether you share it with your team. There's a few floating around there. Nearly all of them are really good. The people who really understand it at this level are all great leaders themselves. However, we wanted to do one for our team and have a deep, local, personalized breakdown. Let's get to it. First things first, all right, is your attitude. Most important thing throughout this whole business is going to be your attitude, all right? Your confidence to share is going to invite others to listen. If your attitude is negative, nobody's going to want to be around that negativity. And if there's somebody who's in your network that just likes you, or they're maybe a family member, so they have to be around you, they're not going to be inclined to take on this business if your attitude about it is always negative. If you come into a compensation plan video, or if you look at the compensation plan and somebody asks you about it and you're like, I don't know, I don't pay attention to data, I don't look at the analytics, I don't understand the numbers like that, all I do is market and share, and people come and purchase through the link that I share, okay? You may be able to have a solid PV with that mentality, but you will never be able to build a solid foundation for teams. If your goal is to build an organization and treat this as such and treat this as a business, you have to have a positive attitude, and you have to understand the compensation plan at a level that most kind of just ignore or overlook. That is something that all the big leaders here have in common. They understand the compensation plan and they don't look at it as something to dread. They look at it as, oh, I need to know this. As a leader, I need to be able to explain this to my people. It's really just basic third and fourth grade arithmetic when you really break it down. It's not that difficult. There's so much information that it's easy to get overwhelmed, or maybe it feels overwhelming and then you watch it 2 or 3 times back, or you have somebody break it down for you and then you were like, oh, I don't really know why I was confused with that. It's happened to me. It's happened to every single big leader here at one point in time. And if it's happening to you, that's totally fine. Watch it back 2, 3, 10 times, however many times you need to understand it. But if your goal is to treat this as a business, you have to understand it like a business. And that includes data, that includes analytics, that includes revenue, that includes future projections. You have to understand this stuff. It starts with the compensation plan. Second, you have to share, okay? Sharing is something that is within your control, and if you do it consistently, it will be easily duplicated. If your people see you sharing, they will feel more inclined to share themselves. It is very simple to hop on a camera. Everybody's got a camera on their phone, start a video, and just talk. If you're somebody who's not big on showing yourself or showing up for social media, it's not that hard to learn. You just have to get over that fear of how others are going to judge you and just show up, right? When people in your network see that you're showing up, it's going to make them want to show up as well, whether they show up as a customer or client, or whether they show up and they're like, wow, she's really or he's really doing good with this business. I want to see what he or she is doing. Sharing will invite them to do that, but it comes back to your attitude. If you're sharing, you're like, well, I did this a month ago and, I haven't really seen that much money yet, but here we are. They say I got to show up. I got to show up. No, 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 no. You need to show up like you're already an advanced executive director. And if you don't know what that is, we'll get into the LEMD ranks here in the near future, but you need to show up like you're already a big leader, right? You have to exude that confidence. You have to have a positive outlook on it. Share, share, share. Third, duplication, right? If it cannot be taught, it cannot be scaled. In order to duplicate, you need to be able to understand and explain things at a level that can be taught to others. If you can't teach it right, or you're not confidently explaining things right, because if you're sharing wrong information or you're not able to effectively explain it to somebody, then you're not going to be able to explain it to the next person after that. Now, there's a fine line between learning from a mistake and giving up versus consistently making the same mistake, right? If you learn nothing from a mistake, that's the real mistake right there. It's okay to make a mistake, but just learn from it so you can duplicate it, because you have to be able to understand things to teach them. If it can't be taught, it can't be duplicated. And if it can't be duplicated, it cannot be scaled. That is exactly what scaling is. It's being able to duplicate it over and over and over and over. Your business can blow up in the blink of an eye, and you have to be ready to scale effectively when that time comes. As these businesses and organizations grow, a single person cannot possibly handle every single client that they have. They can't handle every single team member that they have. So you're going to have to learn to duplicate, you're going to have to learn to delegate, and eventually you may even have to pay somebody to clear your messages or respond to leads or whatnot. So duplication, if it can't be taught, it can't be scaled, which leads us into scaling. Your growth and scaling comes from systems, not hustle. A single person cannot possibly handle the growth of a team, of an organization, as you start to get to director, advanced director, executive director, advanced executive director. You have to relinquish the reins a little bit at some point, and you have to learn to delegate authority sometimes. Teach your leaders. Don't just tell your leaders what to do. You have to teach them how to teach. You have to teach them how to duplicate. That's how you duplicate. That's how you scale. That's how you grow your business. Growth comes from systems, not constant grind and hustle. Lastly, the systems, okay? Systems turn your effort into predictable income. We are in a time where technology can do so much for you. Nothing beats that face-to-face interaction of you explaining things to a potential client or a potential brand partner, but there's certain things that you can automate. Whether you're an influencer and you're automating many chats to respond to people who, you give them that keyword that they respond to, or one of the CRM systems that a lot of people use around here. We're right in the beginning stages of EllieMD having a built-in CRM system. The EllieMD application, all right? And if you see this well into the future and nobody's using an external CRM or having to use an API built into EllieMD's back office, and you're getting that CRM and you're capturing leads through Ellie's app, you are very lucky, because before that was out, we had to kind of do it manually. We had to pay people to automate for us. So appreciate Ellie and everybody going out of their way through the corporate team to build this, all the engineers. I'm a software developer myself, so I appreciate little things like that. And that's not a little thing, actually. That is a huge, huge step. So attitude, share, duplication, scaling, and systems. Get used to these terms. Whether you're going to remain a 1099 independent contractor or business owner, you have to familiarize yourself with these terms. If you're going to grow and treat this like a business, you have to understand business terminology, and that all starts with your attitude.